a queer person in India is not that easy. The person who stands with you at the lowest, what are the real one? What I am. Am I attracted to man or a woman? Am I attracted to both of them? People will only judge you by your gender and sexualities. Our paramedical curriculum, there is no description of trans individuals and their treatment patterns. I find it very difficult to talk in Odia. So whole existence of Odia community is just because of the Jagannath thing.
We are in conversation with Somesh Kumar. He is a queer activist, a poet, a storyteller, and he is a core member of Odisha Rainbow Collective. Hello, Somesh. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great too. So, first, you are a queer, and you'd like to know how being a queer affected your life.
Okay. So, being a queer person, I will definitely like to first talk about my pronouns. My pronouns are he and him. So, I identify myself as a cisgender homosexual person. Okay. So, see, being queer in India back in 2000 and, but what do you say, ki 2018 se pehle, it was little bit, very much. Being a queer person in India is not that easy. We all know that.
True.
Due to a lot of social stigmas and discrimination, rampant discrimination, as you can say. And also, there are not only issues within the family, outside of it, and also our society is such heteronormative, patriarchal, and misogynist at the same time. And it has been so much unfair towards women and men who are feminine. So from the very beginning itself, I didn't know about my identity. What I am. As a kid, you never know what is gender, what is the sexuality. It is what is enforced on us by our parents, family, society. The two genders, what should we call men and women. And their specific roles. Okay? So starting myself, I would like to start myself like 7 years, when 6 or 7, when I was 6 or 7 years, I actually saw Madhuri Dixit dancing. So I didn't know ki what is my gender or sexuality at that point of time. I wanted like, okay, I want to dance like her. She is fair. I want to dance like her. And I started imitating her. But as you know, as they say ki a man has to be a man only. So a man embracing femininity was looked upon till now it is. So, before coming in terms with my sexuality, which happened back late in my 20s, I embraced danced. And dance was my expression of my sexuality. So, people say that, okay, you have to come out to your family in this way or that way, or you have to come out to your friend circles or your colleagues, your social circles. But I don't feel that coming out is necessary unless until you are prepared for it. You are ready to take it emotionally, physically, financially, and socially, and mentally. And my coming out to myself, self-acceptance, was through my art, and that is my dance. Yes. When I started coming out to my friends, to my social circles, and to my few family members, the acceptance level did not came in a day or two. It took years, and it is still on the process. And the most difficult thing is to come out to your biological parents.
True.
Because they, as the elder son of the family, the responsibilities of the family, the social circle, the relatives and everything, it is not an easy thing to just go and say that, okay, I am gay or I'm bi or I'm interested in person of the same gender. It is never easy. It is always a journey, and it is a very, what do you say, a journey full of ups and downs. There are very high points and there are extremely low points. And the person who stands with you at the lowest, what are the real ones you will realize. And they're the true friends and allies. We do not, I believe that what we cannot decide our parents, our biological parents. It comes with our birth, but we can choose our friends efficiently. And in this journey, there has been immense support from my friends. So that has helped me grow as a queer individual. And they have played a very important role in my life. And my role and my contribution to the, what do you say, queer community, upliftment of the queer community is because of the support I get from my friends, basically.
So you came to know about your identity at the age of 20, right?
Yes, late 20s.
Okay, so I want to know the kind of feelings you were going through at that time and how did you deal with it?
Okay. So first of all, the internal dysphoria was there.
Dysphoria as in?
Dysphoria, what I am. Am I attracted to man or a woman? Am I attracted to both of them? And if I am attracted to a man, what is the thought? Am I normal or abnormal? So there is no physical, what do you say, physical disorientations, but yes, within yourself, you go through a lot of internal judgments, internal criticism. Ki, why I am not attracted to opposite gender? Is there something wrong with me?
True.
Because there was no guidance. There is no one I can look up to. Now the scenario has changed. There are professionals who can help you. There are circles, there are collectives, there are NGOs, there are leaders, there are so many people. And most importantly, there is social media and internet. I come from a generation where internet was just born, just a baby.
True.
Okay. So there was, sorry, the question, I lost you.
How did you deal with your feelings?
Okay. It was a self-counseling session and self-learning session, nothing else.
Were you able to share this to someone?
No, not at all. Initially, no. Because I had always a self-doubt. If I come out in a very hostile environment, what would be the consequences? And I still feel the same. To some extent, that proportion has diluted right now because of my self-healing process. But still, that fear always remains. And it will remain. Because every safe space is not a safe space.
True.
And if I'm sitting here in this space, because I have made this somehow contributed to the part where this place could be inclusive for all. And we will talk about, I think, the next questions, how this place is inclusive.
Yes, for sure. We'll talk about that. So when you say queer, what do you exactly mean by the term queer? Like, it's a very broad term.
Yes.
Right? So could you please speak about the different sections of people who come under the purview of queer?
Okay. So when we talk of queer itself means something different. Okay. But being different is not something which is abnormal. We need to understand that. Queer means different, which does not fit into a particular norms, the standard norms. And when we talk of queer, LGBT, there is a term called LGBTQIA++. L for lesbians, G for gays, B for bisexuals, T for transgenders, I intersex, A LGBTQ, Q for queers, IA plus intersex, asexuals, plus those persons who are still on the process of exploring their gender sexuality and they don't want to fit into this LGBTQI++. Okay, for that the plus is there. Okay, queer, any person who either identify themselves as any of this or none of this can come under a queer person, the title of a queer person. And I believe that there are other spectrum also which are not like described vividly, that is gender non-conforming. Okay, persons in transitions. There are a lot of people who are identify themselves as bigenders. So these are the terms which is not discussed, which does not in those LGBTQI plus plus, these are not specified in that. So also we need to discuss upon that and elaborate, enlighten the people regarding them also. Those terms also. Okay. But
Okay. So, it's not easy to come out to speak about the identity when the society feels it's not normal. Like it's not easy. So, what would you advise a person who is dealing with these kind of feelings? Like how today, this world, how he, like the person,
they can go for the
sure, they can come out and no, the first thing is deal with the family. That's the most important thing I feel. So, how do they go forward about?
Okay. So I will go with my experiences. If I go with my experiences, I belong to a very middle class family, but my parents were quite educated. But still, they are in the process of accepting. And the process is really difficult for both parties, there and for me. Also, education and awareness. Awareness does not come with education. You can be educated person, but at the same time, you cannot be aware. But I have seen families who belong to a very underprivileged background. They have been very accepting towards their queer children. And I have seen extremely educated, privileged parents sending their children to rehabs when they come out as a queer.
Oh my God, that is very devastating.
Yes. Yes. That is the truth. Doctors sending their children to psychologists for the treatment, for conversion therapy, which is banned in India. They're sending their children to conversion therapy. So everyone has their own set of experiences. For some, it is very liberal, very happy. The parents embrace them at a very early age. They support them in whatever gender and sexuality they are identifying themselves. But for majority of them, it is very difficult. It is extremely difficult, both mentally, physically, financially, socially, in all the aspects. What would be my suggestion as a queer person who has dealt with such issues, who has been working with such issues for a longer period of time? Take your time. Please take your time. Do not hurry up. Even if you're opening to your parents, it should be a slow process. And after that, if are you facing any consequences, you should be prepared for it also. Because though there are professionals who can help you in that, NGOs, collectives, a lot of things are there. But your mental peace, physically, you should be safe. Mentally, you should be safe. Because this process is itself a very long process. And the process of acceptance is also a very long process. And it completely depends upon you where and to whom you should open.
True.
If you are living in very hostile and dangerous conditions, we should not open up immediately. And even after somebody is opening up to you also, and you are opening up to them regarding your gender sexualities, please try to keep it to minimum people so that your gender and sexuality should not affect your living at the point of time. Because you never know who is the traitor and who could be dangerous to you after you open up. It could be anyone. I'm not against opening up or coming out, but your safety matters more than anything.
Right.
And people after opening out, people will only judge you by your gender and sexualities. They will definitely overlook your qualifications, your achievements, your contributions. Everything is looked upon after you open up. So take your time, choose the right circle, bring the awareness and education, then think of all these factors are very much important.
Okay. So you are a medical professional. Being the queer must be very difficult to deal with in your workplace. Can you elaborate on your experience?
Okay. So, I work in the government sector first. Okay. So still in government sector, there is always belief of man. There's two heteronormative terms, that is man and women. There's binary terms as man and women and heteronormative values. Okay. Even I have seen, I won't take the name. I have seen in the medical requisition forms, there is only column for male, female, in sex. I'm talking about male, female, and others. Okay. So in some forms, there are no others also, male and female. At least you have to choose this, or you have to fit in this, or so. In 21st century, when there is a huge acceptance, we speak if globally there is huge acceptance of everything, and there are laws, policies, everything are made way inclusive. People are in same-sex relationships. People are getting trans. People are getting married. Their identity is recognized. But still, what I feel in the medical field, which is should be the most inclusive one, because everyone can knock your doors at any time, and they can be of any gender and sexuality. There is still discrimination, huge discrimination in the medical sector, especially to trans individuals. Okay, because in your medical curriculum, any medical or paramedical curriculum, there is no description of trans individuals and their treatment patterns.
We are yet to accept.
Yes, and still interventions are going on to make that medical course more inclusive, but there is no significant change. Okay, even doctors don't know how to deal with the newborn intersex person, baby.
Okay.
How to assign the male or because they whole their life they haven't dealing with man or woman, male or female. They are also unaware. It is not like they are very reluctant to accept, but they are unaware what to do if an intersex child is born. Where to put them, and what to put in the birth certificate,
Right.
and the mental conditions of the parents at that point of time.
True.
So if suddenly a transgender person knocks their door, if they're coming with a severe medical conditions, how to deal with them? Where to admit? First of all, if the person is visibly male, that doesn't mean he's male. He can be a trans person.
Correct.
So there are prejudgments, discriminations always there. Okay. If a trans person, where do a trans person needs to address their gynec issues? They cannot go to a guide. So there are issues, again, that are bigger issues in the spectrum. How gives a person identify themselves as a man, but with the body of women, how do they go to a clinic? Even the therapists, there are very less queer-friendly therapists in India. I'm talking about very less, very notable.
Right.
So your mental, sexual, physical health is at risk always, and the information is very less. Information less with the medical fraternity. They have very limited access to the information because the whole of their career they have been dealing with binary genders. In the test books also. Even when we teach our children in the nurseries, there is always, what do we say? Man, woman, king and queen,
Right.
prince and princesses. There is no one else other than that.
Right.
Body of a male, we are taught the body of a male, we are taught about the body of a female.
Right.
Where do the other things come up? So it's as a prejudices.
So there is a need for sensitization.
Yeah.
So you have conquered the Bhubaneswar political movement.
Yes, to a little. Not the political, I can say. Okay, you can say a little, entire, not little better. Yes.
So do you think the government is doing enough for your community? And if not, what are the steps that you think the government should take to work for your community?
Yeah. See, first of all, the government should actually acknowledge the what do you say, the community as LGBT community, QIA plus community, not only trans specific or any gender or sexuality specific. Mostly the work of the government has been concentrated towards the trans community, which is necessary, which is very much necessary. They have struggled for years to achieve that. Nalsa Judgment हो गया, Transgender Protection Act हो गया. It was a revolution in the Indian Penal Code, in the Supreme Court, and the revolutionary judgments were there. Or Section 377 हो गया, which decriminalizes homosexuality.
Right.
Okay. Still, the government has done significant work for the upliftment of the LGBTQI plus community. The defect lies in the implementation part. Okay, government is enforcing a hell lot of policies and laws to protect the rights of the LGBT community. Even the companies and brands, multinational companies, they are also somewhat being inclusive. But are we aware of those laws and policies? Are the state governments, local bodies, judiciary, are they working with respect to the laws and policies? That matters. As compared to like our state and our country, it has advised that there should be a transgender welfare board in each and every state.
Right.
There are very less countable states which has a transgender welfare board. There should be a gender neutral toilet in all the public places. Do we see it? The government has given that protection. There should be separate hostels for the trans persons or the queer persons. We don't see any government or private bodies doing that.
Right.
First of all, we don't know what is the government policy which can protect us or the laws which protect us. We are itself not aware. Coming to what government should do right now, the need of the hour is strict implementation of these policies.
Correct.
Strict implementation of the policies. Government will pass the laws. It is us who will be implemented. And there should be body who should work vigorously to look after the implementation of these policies at ground level. Okay. That is one thing. Secondly, basically, there is a huge discrepancy. And though there are multiple NGOs, collectives, CBOs working for the community on a very small to large scale level, but how much the government is supporting them? They don't work due to lack of funds, basically. They don't get sufficient funds to work. They are working vigorously and at very ground level, but they are not compensated for their hard work. So how much government is providing them funds to work there to create a sensitization? That is very much necessary. Third, what we need to understand is the representation of trans and queer individuals in the policy making.
Yes.
Okay, that also matters. How many people from the queer community are representing the community, the issues of the community in the decision making body, that is the parliament, our local bodies, in the Rajya Sabha, in the Lok Sabha, or in our state governors. A person from the community can address that issue only. That is also necessary. So, and also, what the government can do a revolutionary step in the education and in the medical sectors, they can start introducing the subjects related to the LGBTQ community, mandatory subjects from the very primary level, sub-primary, primary, high school to the colleges. I think we should now start dissecting the educational systems, not just focusing on the binary genders. Also, we should look up to what exists beyond that. So that knowledge should be imprinted in a child from the very beginning itself.
Right. Okay. So you are a workshop facilitator as well, yeah. So we in TCC, that's the Three Chariots Coffee, we want to create a space for inclusiveness of the queer community, and we would like to know what 3 steps would you advise us to make it more inclusive for the queer community.
I think we need to understand what is inclusion first. Okay. Okay. And inclusion does not come just being the founders or the owners feeling yourself. It basically lies with the staffs working here. Okay. The events happening here, the space which we are providing. Steps to be taken, first of all, strict guidelines should be there. And it should be written there, okay. No such discrimination against people of any race, sexuality, gender, caste, religion should be targeted. That itself will bring a big change here. You are giving them a space where it is clearly mentioned there's such sort of discrimination, even within the staffs, or from the customers, or from the between the staffs and customers, or in the level of founders or co-founders of the organizer or the managing body of the space. It should be applicable to all. That mutual, that rules and regulations should be mutual to all. That should be done first. Secondly, where creating a conducting regular workshops can be there, where there should be a queer person coming to this place and bringing that inclusion here. Because unless until they interact with the persons, they will not know the other side of the story. Third, what we can do is, what do you say? Yes, become, what do you say? Let's start talking about it. Just talk about it. Listen, it is not difficult to be inclusive actually. It's letting go your fears.
Right.
When you let your guards down, you will accept a lot of things. Let's settle down. Just that is important, which we forget, which we feel like, okay, you have to bring a big revolution. Inclusivity is meaning no. It is very easy. Accept. Just accept the person as they are.
Right. Just accept the person as they are. It's a beautiful name. Yes, so you are a member in the organizing committee of the Odisha Literary Carnival as well.
Yeah.
So there are multiple roles that she is running, I will say. So, what kind of work are you doing there? And I would also like to know, like, how the literary scenario is currently now in Bhubaneswar. Are the youth reading? Are the youth discussing relevant topics?
Okay. The main purpose of starting this Odisha Literary Carnival was to actually dilute the differences between the existing smaller communities and bringing them together on the same platform. Okay. So basically, in Bhubaneswar or any other metros or wherever you go in the cities, there are a lot of reading writing communities. Okay. So basically, there is always a collision between these communities. We all are the writers, the poets, the authors are basically the change makers. They bring a huge revolution. Always it is a pen mightier than a sword. And these are the holders of these pen. If there is a huge collision between the pens itself, then there is no change. What I believe. The pens are fighting, then we are no different than the swords fighting in the wars.
True.
So as a writer, as a poet, I believe that we are the actual change makers. So, and there can be a difference in the opinions, but there should not be a difference in our aims and agenda. Right? We work for this, like the art should be celebrated. Art is something which is inbuilt. which is common to all. Everyone has some sort of talent or which we don't know. And Odisha literally carnival is the place where we celebrate not only what do you say poetry or prose, we also celebrate dance and also music. Okay, so it is a platform which is open to all the artists. Okay, and coming back to the youth nowadays, I think most of the youth are deviating from the literature part. They are more into the part where they have a very limited knowledge of something, but they have added their own bricks to it.
Prejudices.
Yes, and the bricks are full of prejudices. The bricks are full of what do you say various self-made emotions, which is fine at a point, but literature is always pure. Okay, when writings are always personal, our creations are always the thing where we can innovate the whole world with our creations. So I think the youths need a lot of sensitization in terms of like, I don't know, youths are very rebellious, but they without a vision.
They don't know how to channel it.
Yes, without a vision. Very rebellious, without a vision. They don't know where to knock the doors.
Right.
But they are extremely talented. They have the huge potential, which they are not able to exercise because of lack of guidance.
Right.
Because they are enforced with so many of other, what do you say, responsibilities that are not there. So many other priorities in their life that writing becomes a hobby for them. We don't have good contemporary writers. Contemporary writers are not far. There are few limited people. We always talk of Manoj Das, Hakim Senapati, Pratibha Rai, all those. Where are the contemporary writers?
You meant basically Odia writers, right?
Yes. I'm a Odia by birth, by language, everything. So, where are the writers in Odisha?
True. I agree.
Where are the writers?
People are not interested to read Odia.
Right. Exactly.
We don't read Odia literature.
We don't even read Odia newspaper. My nephews are like coming reading in English medium schools. They don't know how they're talking in Odia, but they don't know how to read and write it. And that's pathetic. I say something is pathetic. I also had Odia compulsory till 10th. So I felt okay, the next generation is at a point, there will be a time when we have to start the Odia revolution again. We have to go back to the era of Madhubabu and this, and we have to ask them to please come down again to this earth and start this Odia revolution again.
Right.
Because the language is directing.
Okay, so since you have discussed the point of people not reading Odia literature,
Yes.
so what do you think we should do to make people interested in Odia literature?
Start talking in Odia first.
Yes. Very good take.
Let's talk in Odia.
I agree with you.
Let's next podcast, if you're doing in Odia, person, please try to communicate in Odia. Because let's try to talk in Odia at least. At least a segment should be there where Odia में कथा हबा, ओडिया में वार्तालाप करिबा. Maybe that is difficult nowadays. Being Odia, we are finding it very difficult to talk in Odia. First, Odia पथा सिखिबा. Seita mo बहुत जल्दी. First, let us try to communicate in Odia. How comfortable are we in our mother tongue? Then we can go to education system, reading, writing, surplus. This we can take into consideration. ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଛୁଆମାନଙ୍କୁ ଘରେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଓଡ଼ିଆ ପଢ଼େଇବା ଶିଖେଇବା.
Pura thik. You know what? Because since this interview is in English, I would like to continue in Hindi. But people, they think that Odia is somewhat inferior to English.
Yes.
A lot of parents think like that. My own uncle thinks like that. So he encourages his children to converse in Hindi or in English. He's like, I feel like he's ashamed of his identity. But ultimately, there will be a point in your life that you have to deal with, the people will ask you where do you come from. When you say where do you come from, they'll ask, okay, like what is good about your culture? Like tell something about your culture, and you're not able to tell it, but you don't know about. That's very pathetic.
I would narrate an instance. I was in a national conference. Okay, so there was like community leaders, all those people from different, like 30, 50 people, and it was community meeting conference 3 days. So, uh, okay, somebody asked me just where are you from? I am from Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Uh, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, Odisha. Yeah, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Okay, where is that place? Okay, जहाँ पे पूरी जगन्नाथ है.
People identify or
Okay, I was like कि either you are not aware of the geography of your country, या फिर you either you're ignorant about the geography, or you're not taught in your school that Odisha state called Odisha exists in the eastern part of your country. Okay, sharing neighbors with West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, or that you don't know that Puri exists. You are going to a place of Puri exists in the map of Odisha.
Yep.
So my answer was that, and he could not say anything. He was a person from Northern India.
Okay.
So whole existence of Odia community is just because of the Jagannath. But this is pathetic. We have so many other things.
True.
And we have given so many other things to the world itself. So our identity is just limited to our God. And yes, and one more thing which I come across is pakhavata. The things which we take pride in, people say it is the poor man's food.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. So definitely within our country itself, there are some people who do not acknowledge Odisha as a state who has its own language and multiple dialects within.
Right.
So, because they have interacted with Odia people who have not given them sufficient information about Odisha, they have not taken their utmost pride in being an Odia.
True.
So, if I am wearing this Sambalpuri kurta that I feel most comfortable in, though I am more like in my workplaces or whatever you can say, we have adopted this Western culture so beautifully that wearing something very traditional also makes us feel that we are outdated.
Yeah.
And then not out your side.
Thank you. I am from Western Odisha.
Yeah.
And I love wearing sarees too. So thank you. Okay. Since we're talking about the topic of reading and writing, I would like to know how writing helped you to understand your identity.
Okay. Writing is a self-healing process, first of all. Whatever things you cannot speak in front of anyone, you can write it down. You can keep that as a document in your face. And years after, you will go and just recollect those memories. You will see, okay, I have come to a position where I can right now comprehend my feelings, speak it very open. So writing is the most powerful weapon you have. The things which you cannot express to anyone, not even to your nearest and dearest, but express it to your eyes. And even the most beautiful part that you can keep it as a memory of yourself, which is very personal to yourself.
Right.
So writing itself actually heals you from within. It has to me on a personal level. I have through my writings, I have covered major issues, right from transgender issues, LGBT issues, female boticides, gender discrimination, negligence, dowry, childbirth. Female boticide, early marriages, bad toxic relationships. So I have written about all of this. So whenever you write, human brain can imagine beyond anything. It has, and we are exercising only 5 to 10% of it, right? But when you start writing, you will start realizing that your potential is so much, which you actually don't use in our daily lives. we are not even utilizing how much our brain can do to extend. So that is the thing.
Okay, so since this is the Pride Month, June is the Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month to you and your team.
Thank you. So you are organizing the Odisha Rainbow Fiesta, 28th of June,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Please elaborate what you are doing in that event and what message do you like to spread through that event?
Okay. Okay. So, Odisha Rainbow Fiesta. Giving a brief history of it about it. So, back in 2022, I was invited as a performer to one of the fest outside of Odisha. So where I saw okay, there is a huge crowd over here and people are so much engaged over here to organize a queer fest. You know, it's something a very big thing when you talk about queer. The word, when it comes queer also, half of the people would be like dissociated from that. Okay. Back to Odisha, after 6 months, I was doing the first in Odisha Rainbow Fiesta in 2023 in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar. So, the main agenda of the fest is to create a safe space for the community and to bridge the gap of queer community with the allies, to bring more allies to the platform, create that safe space where everyone can feel themselves, irrespective of the gender and sexuality, and also creating a network of people where supposedly somebody is that circle where you can be yourself and also get that opportunities of invading your talents, your potential, where you can get an opportunity for job. Somebody can get an opportunity to become a brand face. Somebody can get an opportunity to at least wear something which they always wanted to wear in their whole lives. So it is not just a fest. Our vision and agenda is much more beyond that. So that is the thing, yes. And this year on 28th of June, we are doing the Odisha Rainbow Fiesta 3.0. It is a third version. The baby is 3 years old. And we'd love the entire team to come to that event. And just one day after the Rath Yatra, we are having. So it is the end of Pride Month. That 28th June is the International LGBT Pride Day. So actually on 28th of June only, the first revolt शुरू हुआ था मैनहट्टन में, न्यूयॉर्क मैनहट्टन में. पहला रेवोल्यूशन आया था इन द एलजीबीटी हिस्ट्री जहाँ पे ओपनली रिवॉल्ट हुआ था अगेंस्ट द लोकल गवर्नमेंट, जिन्होंने एक सॉरी आई केम इन हिंदी. So there was a revolt against the local government in the New York against the seize of a gay bar in Manhattan, New York. Okay, so 20th June is a historic moment in the history of LGBT community.
Okay.
So on that day, we are celebrating our Odisha Rainbow Fiesta, and yes, we was pretty much excited as I am in the core team. And for the last 3 months, we have been planning for it, and we will show not only the struggles and the stories, but also the vibrancy and the talent of the community on that day.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.